The Steam Deck came out 3 years ago, and I'm still using mine almost every single day in 2025. Think about it. 3 years is a lifetime in the world of tech. New phones, new consoles, new handhelds are dropping constantly. And with powerful devices like the ROG Ally, the Ayaneo consoles, and the Lenovo's Legion Go entering the market, you might expect the Steam Deck to fade into the background. But here's the surprising part. These old champs still going strong and hasn't just survived, striving, and today I'm breaking down why the Steam Deck feels like the smartest gaming devices that you can own even in 2025. When I first picked up the Steam Deck back in 2022, I didn't know what to expect. Honestly, I thought it might end up like the other handhelds I own. On at first, but eventually got it in dust in a shelf. But here we are, 3 years later, and the deck still going strong. It's the first thing I reach when I want to play games on a couch, on a trip, or even I just want to lie on bed and relax. What is crazy is like these handheld markers exploded since then. Valve has launched a Steam Deck OLED with a gorgeous new display. Other companies brought powerful competitors with more raw horsepower, and yet my original deck hasn't become obsolete. Still plays games, still feel comfortable, and most importantly, it still makes me happy every time I power it on. Let's start with the biggest reason why the deck is still alive in 2025. The games. When the Steam Deck launched, Steam already had one of the largest PC libraries in the world, but since then, only got better. Thousands of new titles have come out. Valve has worked constantly to improve compatibility through Proton. Back in the early days, you sometimes had to test and tweak settings just to get things running. Now, more and more games are Steam Deck verified. A huge portion of the rest are at least playable with minimal effort. It feels effortless compared with 2022. But here's the kicker, not just the Steam Deck, because at the end of the day, this is a PC. That means you can load emulator and play games from consoles across multiple generations. You want to revisit GameCube or PlayStation 2 classics? Easy. You want to dive into Wii or so PS3 titles? With the right setup, the Steam Deck can do that too. One of the craziest experiences has been replaying Dead Space 2 on the Steam Deck. This massive AAA horror game that originally played on console hooked up to a big TV, and now I can play handheld in a bed at the smooth 40 frames per second, and this is just wrong. It feels good to play, and the fact I can enjoy this kind of game portably in 2025 still blows me away. On the other side of the spectrum, indie games absolutely shine on the deck. Hades, Hollow Knight, Celeste, Stardew Valley, all these runs flawlessly at 60 frames per second with no effort at all. For indie fans, the deck basically is the ultimate handheld. Simply put it, the library keeps growing, the compatibility keeps improving, and the experience keeps getting smooth. That's a big part of why the deck refuses to fade away. Now, let's talk about controls, because this is one of the areas where the deck quietly crushes the competition. The deck feels like a full console controller built into a handheld. The analog sticks, the trigger, the buttons, they're responsive, well placed, and familiar. Don't feel like you are using a portable compromise. You feel like you are holding a real controller, but with a screen attached. And then there are the back paddles. If you never use them, they sound like a small detail, but once you do, you will never want to go back. Mapping abilities, shortcuts, or even just a simple action like reloading or dodging for those buttons gives you so much flexibility. It's like having a competitive edge built into a handheld. But it's not just about buttons, it's about comfort. Deck is big, there is no denying of that, but the size gives something that a lot of other handhelds lack, real ergonomics. I can play this thing for hours without hand cramps. The grips are natural and the weight is balanced, and the design just works for long sections. So newer handhelds might look sleeker, but after standard use, you feel the difference. The Steam Deck is built for playing games, not just for looking good or promo pictures. Performance is another area where the deck has aged incredibly well. Look, the Steam Deck isn't the most powerful handheld in 2025. Devices like the ROG Ally might have some raw power on paper, but the key is the optimization. Valve work non-stop to push Proton updates, improve performance, and make the deck run better over time. And it works. Many games today run smoother on the deck than they did on launch, without you needing to do anything. Now, for heavy games, yes, you often need to tweak settings, drop the resolution, aim for 40 frames per second instead of 60, turn off couple effects, and suddenly you are playing a AAA game on a handheld without major compromises. And here's the beauty of it. Less demanding games and indie runs like butter. They basically flawless. So while you can max out Cyberpunk 2077 at ultra settings, you can still enjoy massive library of games, both new and old, with settings that make them perfectly playable. Plus, the community is huge. If you ever run into an issue, someone out there is already made a guide for it. A mod, a fix, you'll never be by your own. But what really pushes the deck in 2025 is the ability to act as a streaming powerhouse. This thing isn't just a local play. You can stream games from PC directly to the Steam Deck, instantly turning into a portable extension of your gaming rig. Titles that might be too heavy for the deck run natively and still play smoothly this way. And it doesn't stop here. With services like Xbox Cloud Gaming and GeForce Now, the Stream Deck becomes a hub for almost any platform. You can be playing Steam library in a moment and then jump into a Game Pass or a cloud-based AAA release the next. Its versatility like this makes the deck feels like pure pro. Even the hardware in 3 years old, the streaming options keep feeling modern and relevant. So here we are 3 years later and the Steam Deck is still my daily driver. Not because it's the most powerful handheld, but because it's the most balanced. The game library is massive and always growing. The controls are comfortable, customizable, and just plain fun to use. The performance, while it's not cutting edge, is rock solid thanks to the constant updates. And the streaming options open doors to experience far beyond what's running locally. With all the new handhelds floating in the market, I could be easily switched, but honestly, I don't need. My Steam Deck still does anything I want to, and in 2025, that says a lot. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you still use the Steam Deck in 2025? Are you switched to a newer handheld like the Ally or the Legion Go? Or you are like me, still loyal to the OG deck? Drop in the thoughts in the comment. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit a like button and subscribe for more retro and handheld content. Ring the bell so you don't miss my next video. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.